right. Today on the show, we have Becci Holcomb, who I first saw on Instagram and was completely taken by her account and reached out to her, and we have become internet friends, and now we're chatting on Big Fit Girl Radio. She is a USA Powerlifting Open National Champion and nationally ranked powerlifter. Welcome to Big Fit Girl Radio. I'm so excited to have you.
Thank you for having me. I am super excited to be here.
Yeah, so I don't know, we just connected on Instagram. I think I was scrolling through one day and I saw this powerful woman powerlifting with a body type similar to my own, and I just was completely drawn to your account because really that's what my whole ethos is about, is showing people that you can be big and fit and put yourself out there and really excel in athletics. So that's really what drew me to your account. For the listeners today, I thought we would start off with, because I've interviewed you before and we were just having a good chuckle about that. I asked you if you were going to the Olympics and you were like, no, powerlifting is not part of the Olympic Games. So I think there's a lot about powerlifting that people don't know. So I thought we would start there. What's the premise behind powerlifting as opposed to basic weightlifting and or Olympic lifting?
So powerlifting and Olympic lifting, the goal is to lift as much weight as possible. Where powerlifting, it's more for power, and Olympic lifting, it's very explosive. And the major differences along with that are powerlifting consists of the squat, bench press, and deadlift, where weightlifting consists of the clean and jerk and the snatch.
So in powerlifting, they only do those three moves?
Yes, we only do. Those are the primary movements, and that's what you compete with, are the squat, bench, and deadlift. But we also do a lot of other lifting as an accessory to try to increase all three lifts.
Of course. So I'm sure like your training regime is more involved than just those three lifts, so that you're working all the assisting muscle groups and having an overall fitness to perform those moves.
Correct.
Cool.
And also cardio is involved, as much as I hate to say it, but it pays off to do cardio or to try to lift as quickly as possible, take shorter breaks, because you never know how fast a meet's going to move and you don't want to be fatigued or worn out, that kind of thing.
What I find really surprising about lifting weights in general is I find it very, very cardiovascularly intensive, as well as working the muscles. Like I really get my heart rate up lifting weights. Do you find that as well?
Oh my gosh, yes. So when I started lifting, like cardiovascular wise, my resting heart rate was around 75 beats per minute. And just through lifting for 3.5 years, it's dropped to 55 beats per minute. Like the cardiovascular benefits are amazing.
Yeah.
And I didn't do any cardio then.
Yeah. And that I hear that often from weightlifters is I hate cardio. I mean, I've heard this from many people that do either Olympic or powerlifting. And I mean, the truth is you are doing cardio at the same time. It's just not that like elliptical trainer or, running on a treadmill type of cardio. But I very much find that my heart rate's up and cardio is at play lifting weights. And just so people know, when we're talking about resting heart rate, anything below a 60 beats per minute is considered like a pretty stellar athlete. So a resting heart rate of 60 and below, I mean, that's definitely in the realm of somebody that's considered athletic. So that is quite a change in your resting heart rate from just from lifting, right?
Just from lifting, because I just started, I just introduced cardio in the past probably 6.5 months. I started doing it 2 to 3 times a week, just low intensity, steady state stuff, just to get my heart rate going and get used to like working at a consistent higher heart rate.
Right, because when you do steady state cardio work, especially if you're doing it for decent amount of time, it builds endurance as well. So you're going to be needing to tap into your endurance build for powerlifting, I would assume.
Yes, and it shows in powerlifting. It really showed at my last competition, because we only had 7 people in our flight, so it went very quickly, and I was able to recover, and I was ready to get my next lift without being fatigued.
That's fantastic. So what kind of cardio are you doing? Just curious, like what kind of exercises are you doing?
I like to row, or if I'm feeling lazy, I'll get on a bike or I'll get on the elliptical and I'll watch Netflix. And then it helps pass the time. And when the weather's nice, I love to hike. Love, love, love. And it's longer distances, because we've gone 8-mile hikes, that kind of thing on a weekend. And so that's just what I like to do. I'll use that as active recovery as well.
Yeah, no, that's fantastic. And isn't that the best exercise? Like, I am somebody that likes to run outside and cycle outside, but if the weather's not permitting and I'm like forced to do that on a machine, it's just like, oh, it just feels so laborsome to me. But if you can actually get outside and do cardio that you enjoy, it just feels like, it doesn't even feel like exercise.
No, it's easy to do, and just like you said, it doesn't feel like exercise.
Yeah.
It's like a break from everything, a break from life, social media, that kind of thing. And it's good to get fresh air.
And just being in nature too. It's kind of like,
Yeah.
like it almost has like a spiritual element. It's just like you're in the middle of something that's so much greater than yourself. And I don't know, it's almost meditative as well as getting some great exercise. So I'm all about the get outside, but obviously that can't always be the case all the time.
No, unfortunately.
Yeah, so I'm curious, like, how does one fall into the sport of powerlifting? How did you get into the sport?
So I moved to Georgia. It's been almost 4.5 years. And when I moved here, I came to Georgia for school, and one of my classmates was in powerlifting, and she looked at me and she's like, "Oh, you look like you're big and strong. You should try powerlifting." And I was like, maybe I'll try it. It took about a quarter, which is 11 weeks, before I gave it a shot. And I tried it. I went to an intro. We started with a PVC pipe. I was so sore after my intro that I didn't know if I could do it. And so I was like, okay, I'm gonna give it another shot. And I went to a week's worth of training, and I loved it, like absolutely loved it. Just getting under a barbell and moving weights was fun. And I didn't expect it to be fun, but it was awesome.
I love hearing that when you hear somebody that just, I mean, really that's what I coach women to do, is to find something that you love. And when it just clicks, because it can really change the course of your life. I had somebody email me today saying that they have joined this dance program where it's not just about being a person lost in a group of people dancing in a class, where they are actually challenged to perform a dance in front of an audience. So she's really putting herself out there, but that's just one of the things that clicked for her, was just this doing that dance. And so I love hearing when you say that you just like almost immediately, aside from the PVC pipe sessions sound as exciting, you immediately were taken to it, and then it's really changed the course of your life.
It really has. Like, it's incredible. Before I started lifting, like I hadn't really traveled. I had never been on an airplane, and now I travel frequently. I just went to Europe, and I had 6 different flights during that time, and I was traveling alone, and it's created, like, I've become way more confident in everything I do because of that, because of powerlifting.
That's incredible. And I often equate, I mean, aside from the travel and, you know, doing things like going to Europe independently, which of course builds a lot of confidence when you are doing those kinds of things. But I always try to tie you know, show women how building body confidence and confidence in general can come from physical power. So, how does powerlifting make your body feel? And how has that
It may,
changed your confidence levels?
oh my gosh, I had so little confidence when I first started lifting. So little. It was awful. And after being around my team, so that's another thing that made me stick with it. The people I was around, they were so uplifting and encouraging that along with the weights, I was hooked on being around them. So just adding the weights on top, like my body, I felt like I was strong, I was unstoppable, that I may not look like every person, but my body is doing something that is incredible. Because I mean, not everyone can lift, just like not everyone can run, not everyone can swim, that kind of thing. And it was just cool to see what my body can do and to challenge it.
Yeah, I very much relate to that. And in fact, I wrote about that this morning. Is I've made a goal of mine to do a half Ironman, and I've joined this group called the Best Tri Club Ever, which is uh, was put together by Meredith Atwood, who lives in Georgia as well. And
Oh, cool.
yeah, so I just find being around the people that have similar goals, like they believe in me sometimes more than I believe in myself until my brain can catch up with what they are believing. So it's almost like they kind of carry, like they lift you up. And
Yes, for
being,
sure.
yeah, being around people that are, you know, that are of that mindset instead of like people that are cutting each other down or being negative or whatever it might be. Being around positive, supportive people that believe in you so much, sometimes more than you do in yourself, that give you the opportunity to start to believe in yourself like they do. It's an incredible thing to be a part of something like that. And I talk very much about that in my book about finding your tribe. First of all,
Hmm.
finding your passion of what it is that you enjoy doing as far as exercise, and then finding the people that align with you, that support you. I think once you have those two ingredients, the sky's the limit. Absolutely.
Oh, I agree completely. Completely. Like
Yeah.
my coach, she the first couple of weeks I was there, she was like, Becky, you're gonna go to the top. And I was like, there's no way. I can't, like, I can barely squat like 135. I can't hit depth. And she's like, no, like you have the potential. You're going places with this. And she put that spark inside of me. And through that, along with just because I enjoyed it so much, I just pushed myself harder and harder and harder. And next thing I know, I'm outlifting everyone in the gym. And now I'm signing up for my first competition. And at my first competition, I broke almost all the Georgia state records. I was like 30 pounds away from an American record in the deadlift. And that was after 8 months. And it was incredible.
That's phenomenal. And that's exactly what I'm talking about, is having the right coach and support in place that can see things that sometimes we can't.
Hmm.
Obviously, because she's a coach, she's trained many people and, you know, can see things that maybe we don't know. And when you have somebody that's got your back to that degree and supports you to that degree, I just think that it's not that she did it for you, but she gently ushered you towards this thing that you were already made to do.
Yes,
Let's give that woman a shout out. Who was it?
Her name is Vanessa Gail.
Right on, Vanessa. We need more Vanessas in the world, right? Like
Yes.
everybody needs a Vanessa. And that's like the coach I'm working with, Meredith Atwood. That's like my first running coach who, really profoundly changed my life because the goals around fitness were about athletic performance. They were never about my body. And that was something that I never about like whittling my body down to a different
Mm-hmm.
form, which is what I had always experienced in fitness is come on girls, bikini season's coming. And if you
Yes,
do
that's like
this,
one.
yeah, if
Oh,
you do
sorry.
this, you're expending this many calories. And it was
Mm-hmm.
always like that kind of talk. And that was what I was always trying to achieve. And my body wasn't responding. Like my body has a very hard time losing weight. And so I always felt like a failure until I met this coach that was like, this is about athletic performance, she never even mentioned expenditure, weight loss, and nothing.
Yep. That was like one thing. We couldn't call anyone fat or skinny because we were all like perfect the way we were.
Yeah. I just think that goes so far for women to, I mean, we are so judged on body size and weight, and we internalize that judgment that if we can't achieve a certain look or a certain weight, then we somehow are failures. And we have to create a different paradigm because this is what's rising people to the top. This is what's putting people at the top of their game is when you put all that aside and you focus on the athleticism.
Yes, exactly. And you kind of find issues with that in powerlifting because some people are like, oh, well, she's bigger, so that's not impressive that she lifted this amount of weight.
Why?
Body weight shouldn't matter. The weight on the bar should be what matters.
But why is that not impressive? Is it because they believe you have more momentum because you're heavier, or what? Why is that? Are they saying that being bigger is an advantage?
Yes, because they believe that the fatter you are, the more weight you should lift, which sometimes weight can have a slight advantage, but training is going to win regardless of size.
Well, I
Because
would
there are
think,
some
yeah, go ahead, sorry.
because there are some small women who are 100 pounds and who are deadlifting over 400 pounds, which is incredible.
Yeah,
It's just like weight shouldn't matter. The weight on the bar should be what matters.
I fully agree. I mean, if you're squatting with weight, though, you're already squatting your body weight and then the weight.
Exactly. They don't understand that. They're like, oh, it's only blah, blah, blah. She's only 200 pounds lighter than that, or that's not even her body weight, that kind of thing.
Yeah. There's always going to be the naysayers, right? Especially when they see
Oh,
certain
yes.
people being successful. There's some, we talked about the very supportive people, which is
Mm-hmm.
who we want to surround ourselves with at all times. The people that lift you up, the people that believe in you, the people that don't, that have some kind of snarky comment to say about how you're able to do a certain thing is just not the people. They're not the tribe, right?
Correct. And honestly, I get more negative feedback from men than I do women. Most women are encouraging, and it's men that I'll find like making negative comments on my Instagram posts and such.
Yeah, I mean, I get the same thing. Most negative comments that I've received have been, coming from pretty much a typical profile of a guy that's between 20 and 30, usually Caucasian. It's always the same guy that's trolling along and trying to bring you down. But I mean,
Oh,
we
yeah.
have to not focus on those guys, right? Because what do they know?
Exactly. They know nothing. And honestly, their opinion doesn't matter because what they think of me isn't going to change how I think about myself.
No, and the other thing too is any troll that takes time out of their day to make comments on your work is they are threatened by it in some capacity, because why would they bother otherwise, right? So
Exactly.
you're making an impact, whether it's the right feedback we want to get or not, but somehow the visual of you excelling at this thing is stirring something up for them. So
Hmm.
yeah. So have you always been athletic?
No. I was, oh my gosh. So I've always been bigger, and growing up, I was so clumsy and uncoordinated. I did do track and field in college and high school, but I think mainly the reason why I was good at it is because I was bigger and I was stronger. I grew up on a farm, so I had like natural strength, and that kind of helped me. But as soon as I started lifting, my whole body changed. Like I became more aware of how I'm moving. I became more coordinated. Even like I went back and I tried throwing the shot put, the discus, that kind of thing, and everything was so much easier. So I was so much more coordinated. It was insane. Like I wish that I had started doing this a long time ago, because it would have helped me out so much.
Yeah, it's almost like you've always had the strength, it sounds like, but maybe the lack of coaching to put that strength into play until
Hmm.
you found your coach, right?
Yes.
So what was growing up like as a child and a teen for you, like as far as body image and self-esteem? How was childhood for you?
It was rough, because like I said, I've always been bigger, and my mom was tiny, all of 5'3". Gosh, I think she was like 130 pounds when she had me, so she was tiny, and I'm 5'10", a super heavyweight, so I've always been big. And she would make snide comments, remarks about my size, and she was always like telling me I needed to lose weight. Oh, we should try this diet. You should try that diet. I shouldn't wear shorts. I shouldn't wear tank tops. Or if I did wear tank tops, or if I wore like a sleeveless dress, she would encourage me to cover up my shoulders, cover up my arms, that kind of thing. And all of that stayed with me my whole entire life. Like I was not comfortable wearing a tank top until after I started lifting. I was not comfortable wearing shorts until probably 6 or 7 months after I started lifting. It's just because I became more confident in my body, and I knew that all of that stuff that I was told wasn't right. And so as like my confidence grew, I started wearing shorts, but I would have like spandex shorts underneath because I was too afraid that they'd be too short. And then from there, I went to just regular shorts. And then next thing you know, I'm wearing long spandex shorts. And then lo and behold, I wear short shorts. And that's like what my wardrobe consists of when I'm lifting. Short
That's
shorts and tank tops.
that's really rough when, like I'm a firm believer that our parents do the best that they can with the tools that they have. Same as me as a parent, I'm doing the best that I can. But obviously she had her own, uh, I guess, baggage around weight and body image that was
Yes.
projected onto you. And that is a very difficult thing to work through as a child and a teen. So I'm so happy to hear that you kind of have overcome that. And I think I hear this a lot within our groups, that that people have been belittled by their parents about their appearance, or food policing all the time, like, are you really going to eat that? And it's a really tough place for people to be, because we want to say to people, back away from negative people, but at the end of the day, that's not really something that people can do all the time when it's their parents,
No.
right? So is there anything that you could say to people, because I know this is a very common thing, that are perhaps dealing with that type of relationship with a parent?
It's hard, but like if you're older, you've got to just come out and tell them, I don't like the way you treat me. I don't like how you treat my body. I want you to respect me, respect my body, respect my choice, respect my decisions. And honestly, if you cannot say anything positive, then don't say anything at all.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that. Like, that's what I've learned. And life has gotten a lot easier since then.
So what's your
And I
relationship?
also stopped caring.
Yeah, I think many of us go to our parents for approval. And it's almost like the definition of insanity. You keep doing the same thing over and over and over,
Over and over, yes.
a different result. And
Mm-hmm.
I think sometimes some people go to their parents for that approval, and it's just not going to be there. And you kind of have to break that insanity cycle and just be like, that's not a place that I can go get the approval that I crave. And just not go there, because you'll just get flattened by it every single time unless you start to mend that relationship. Like, I'm curious, how is the relationship now with your mom?
We don't have much of a relationship, like, because I have distanced myself, and because she's tried to like bring me down throughout the years, and I don't want to be a part of that.
Of course
I'm
not.
trying to better myself, better my future, that kind of thing. And I've seen like some of the things that she did to me, she's also done to my little sisters. So I try to encourage them to like be more confident, wear what you like to wear, that kind of thing. I encourage exercise, healthier living, healthier eating, but I'm not trying to force it on them and almost body shame them into trying to live healthier.
Right. And I think the best thing that we can all do is lead by example. So I don't,
Yes.
by saying you should do this or that, or that's what I try to do in my business as well, as just try to lead by example. And you're doing that on a daily basis. Like, there's no way that your mom can look at what you do and not secretly deep down inside go, holy, she's kicking ass. But there's like there's other shit there that she's dealing with, but deep down inside,
Mm-hmm.
you can't look at your daughter getting on a plane going to Europe and killing it at the competitions and being like, why is she wearing those shorts?
Exactly. Like, she'll have to get over it and just accept it.
Yeah. Well, that's too bad, but I'm really happy to hear the way that you're handling it. And hopefully that helps other people that are listening, because I know I hear this come up very often, and it's such a shame because obviously we all want to have great relationships with our parents and our family members, and more often than not that it's not the case. And I've been talking about that a lot in my groups lately, about that we are approaching Christmas, and just like
Mm-hmm.
the beauty ideals out there and the fitness ideals out there, there's also these big happy family ideals, especially that are pushed at Christmas time, and for so many people it's just not the case.
I understand completely. That's how it was for me. And now that I'm older, my siblings and I, we do our own Christmas, and we're happy.
Yeah.
It's everything that we wanted growing up that we didn't have.
Yeah, that's fantastic. So that is, yeah, and that's the other thing, when I'm in a position now where I have a good relationship with my parents. So there's been ups and downs over the years, but now I feel like we do have a good relationship. And but the other thing too is I have my own family now. Like, I have my little boy
Mm-hmm.
and I have my husband. So my husband's had ups and downs with his family too. And you just got to create your own family dynamic, right? Like you have with your siblings.
Yes, most definitely. And like, I'm hoping that one day, like we can fix it all and just resolve the issues, but it's going to take time.
Yeah. Well, let's get back to powerlifting. Just before we close this interview, I'm wondering what the climate is like in powerlifting as far as body size diversity. And I'm asking this because I see in our Big Fit Girl private group many people asking about powerlifting. I have a couple of clients that are interested in it. So what's the climate like, in general out there for body size diversity?
It's so diverse. So the lightest weight class, you can have women who are as small as 100 pounds to super heavyweights who are 300 plus pounds. So it accommodates every single person, every single body type, every single weight.
So when you're 100 pounds, are you competing against people that are also 100 pounds, or is it a mix?
Yes. No, so they have separate weight classes and you would compete within your weight class.
Okay, I see. All right, so do you want to lay down what your standings are in powerlifting? Because I know you've had great success in this sport, and I really want our listeners to hear just how well you're doing with it, and show people that, it's not too late to start.
It's never too late.
Yeah, any body size can do it, as you've said, and finding the right support and the right sport, for example, to start, you can get started and really excel at it. So what are your standings in powerlifting?
Well, I am the 2017 USA Powerlifting Open National Champion. I just competed at International Powerlifting Open Worlds, where I won the deadlift with a pull of 240 kilograms,
Wow.
which is 540 pounds.
Wow.
It was amazing.
That's crazy.
It was awesome. And I just realized that pull is, I believe it's 5 kilograms off of an American record.
Wow.
So that's my goal for nationals in May, is to pull a new American record.
That's amazing. So I'm just curious, when you're at these competitions, are they televised or are they online anywhere?
For all the major events, there is a live stream available where you can click on it and watch it. So most of the major USA powerlifting events, bodybuilding.com will live stream them. So it's really great quality. They have like a score sheet where you can keep track of the lifter, what they're lifting, if they made the lift, that kind of thing.
That's awesome. So I'm just looking at your standings, and I cut you off. You have more standings. So I want you to brag away here. So let's finish all your standings.
Okay. Well, I hold all the USAPL Georgia state records for raw and single ply lifting. I have been invited to compete at the Arnold 4 times, and I've competed twice, and I've placed twice at the Arnold. And I mean, I've placed second place. There we go. Both times I placed second place.
That's awesome.
It's so much fun. I have a USA Powerlifting retired deadlift American record, and I've been in the top 3 places for every single meet that I've competed in.
That's just like, I actually just got goosebumps when you said that. That's so
It's crazy to think about it.
And like, your coach was right. Like, she took one look at your lift and was like, you're going to the top. And that's exactly what happened. I can't stress that enough, of finding this something that clicks and finding the support to lift you up into something that you're already made to do, but you need something to usher you gently in that direction.
Yep. I just needed that little nudge, and I found my passion, because everything about powerlifting I love. I love the competing, the being around people. I love helping out and volunteering. I'm a state referee. I'm working towards becoming a national referee. I coach powerlifting. Like it's a passion deep,
That's
deep inside of me. And I just love everything about it.
that's that's incredible. So hey, I'm coming to Georgia for that Ironman. I'm coming to Augusta. So are you in the
Okay.
neighborhood of that area?
I think it's a couple hours away because I'm in Atlanta.
Okay. Okay, well maybe we can
But
meet up. That would be so great to meet you in person and you can show me some powerlifting moves.
that would be so cool.
Yeah. So before we sign off here, because again, I know that there's quite a few women out there that are interested in maybe getting into powerlifting. What kind of resources can you recommend for people that are interested or want to learn more about this sport?
So if you want to learn more, the USA Powerlifting website has everything you could ever imagine about powerlifting. It'll break down the rules for you. It'll have the competitions, records, that kind of thing. And then there are good social media accounts that you can follow where they'll post like inspirational videos. They'll post videos from just regular powerlifters, and you can see everyone lifting, everyone loving it. And Girls Who Powerlift is great. This is Female Powerlifting is also good. Oh my gosh, there's so many that you
And
can check out.
they can check out you, which
Oh, yeah.
like I said, like I'm not a power lifter, but I was incredibly inspired to not only follow your account but to reach out and get to know you more, just because I just thought it was so kick-ass. So can you tell us where people can find out more about you?
I post mostly on Instagram, and my Instagram is at Pretty Strong Beck.
And that's BEC.
Correct. They can
Yes.
also check out Facebook and look for Becci Holcomb. I have like an athlete page there, and I'm trying to update it more often because people are still using Facebook.
Yeah, I mean, us old timers are using it.
I know I've gotten away from it a little bit, but I'm trying to update Facebook as often as I update Instagram.
That's great. And I also noticed that you were on a list of athletes that was produced by a magazine. What was it? The athletes that have the great abs or something like that?
Oh, yeah, like I think it was like 20 something athletes with the best abs. I had no idea I was a part of it until I just randomly Googled myself and the article popped up, and I was like, oh, this
Yeah.
is really cool, because I honestly expected it to be a joke, because here I am, a chunky power lifter, and I wasn't expecting to see myself on there and them like not making fun of me, because I don't have a six pack, well, a visible six pack. I have what I like to call a power belly,
Yeah.
and just a really strong core. But it was a really cool article, and it's cool to be placed in it, because I definitely was not like everyone else who was listed. I was
No,
an anomaly there.
I definitely looked through it and I was like right on, because we need to see that diversity so that we can
Yes.
see ourselves as athletes and get more people out there. I mean, I think it's incredibly important. So when I see
Mm-hmm.
mainstream fitness producing that kind of content, I'm just like, I'm all over it. I loved that so much.
It was so cool, because it just shows that even though you don't have a visible six pack, you have abs. Everyone has abs.
Oh, I
You
always say
just
that.
use
I'm like,
them differently.
yeah, I always say that. I'm completely ripped under this body.
Exactly. My abs are just shy and they don't like to come out.
Yeah, exactly. Well, thank you so much for coming on the show today. I know that this is going to be very inspirational and helpful to so many women. I just want to recap with where people can find you again. So the best place to find you is on Instagram at Pretty Strong Bec, BEC, also on Facebook. Are you on Facebook under Pretty Strong Bec as well? Or sorry, you said Becci Holcomb, right?
I'm under Becci Holcomb. I have like an athlete page
Okay, great.
where people can find like training videos, recaps from my meets, that kind of thing.
Awesome. Thank you so much for coming on the show. I am thrilled to have you, and I will definitely be catching up with you in all your social media and hopefully in Georgia in person in September. That would be amazing.
Yes, that would be awesome. And thank you so much for having me. This was a blast, and I'm just glad that we can show more women that you can be an athlete regardless of your size, regardless of what you do.
Absolutely. Thank you, Becci.